Germany heaped praise on Charles on Friday and dubbed him the Climate King for his environmental activism on the final day of the King and Queen consort's successful tour. Thousands braved downpours to greet Charles and Camilla during a walkabout outside Hamburg's City Hall. Germany's Bild newspaper declared, "He came, he spoke, he inspired." The press had bestowed the King, 74, with the climate name, and he was praised for his winning performance. Charles revealed at an event that he was becoming a frustrated old man over global warming. It came a day after Germany's parliament gave Charles a standing ovation as he spoke of his wish to renew the nation's special bond. On Friday, the couple charmed Hamburg, where the ghosts of conflict 80 years ago were finally laid to rest. The King toasted their relations with a beer he pulled at a reception for 1,200 people celebrating Anglo-German links. It took place in an old warehouse where folk singers sang sea shanties and Beatles cover band, the Silver Spoons, performed in the city where the Fab Four first found success. Charles and Camilla also met Germany's Eurovision 2023 entry, industrial metal band Lord of the Lost, whose song, Blood and Glitter, will feature at the final in Liverpool next month. Despite being no fan of heavy metal, the King told them, "We look forward to hearing you." In more somber moments, Charles and Camilla deftly acknowledged the pain and suffering of many Germans and others during the Second World War. They stopped well short of an apology, but in an act of reconciliation, they paid their respects to the 37,000 people killed by Allied bombing in a 1943 firestorm that razed Hamburg to the ground and caused 1 million people to flee. At St. Nikolai Memorial, the remains of a church whose towering spire was used by bomber pilots as a landmark, the royal couple joined Germany's President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, First Lady Elke Budenbinder, City Mayor Peter Tschentscher and his wife Eva Maria, to remember victims of the saturation bombing campaign. The men laid wreaths and the women white roses after Lutheran Bishop Kirsten Ferris read the Coventry Litany of Reconciliation, composed to find forgiveness in the UK city whose cathedral and much else was destroyed by Nazi bombing. Charles's wreath of poppies featured a handwritten card signed Charles R. and saying "In everlasting remembrance." A woman in the crowd, Britta, said of his church visit, "I find it really great. My family has lived in Hamburg for centuries and it really means something to us. That's why I came here today." It is a difficult thing for him to do, but it's really nice for him to address it. People here feel positively about him, especially because of his ecological views. Earlier, Charles and Camilla marked the 85th anniversary of the UK-led Kinder Transport Rescue Mission, in which 10,000 mainly Jewish children were evacuated to new lives in Britain. Camilla, 75, laid a white rosette poignant bronze sculpture, The Final Parting. It depicts two groups of children, those evacuated abroad and those transported to Nazi concentration camps. On a harbor boat ride to see a green hydrogen site, the King told President Steinmeier he was putting his faith in the young on global warming. He said, "I'm becoming a frustrated old man. It all seems obvious to me. The younger generation know, certainly." Analysis by Richard Palmer, Daily Express royal correspondent. In 2004, during Queen Elizabeth's state visit to Germany, there were demands for an apology for the British bombing of Dresden. It is a measure of perhaps how much our two nations have finally moved on that the King and Queen Camilla's act of reconciliation in Hamburg, a city that was pummeled in 1943, prompted only mutual respect and approval. This was a state visit designed to reset the relationship amid a desire for a united front against Russia and a new effort to rebuild ties after Brexit stresses. It is often difficult to measure the success of such diplomacy. There are no trade deals, for example, but it seemed to achieve its aims. Charles III and his consort appear to have won hearts and minds in Germany. On their first overseas visit of the new reign, the new king and his wife showed they can wield soft power on behalf of Britain, even if Charles does not yet have quite the cachet of his mother, who bestrode the international stage for so long she became the stateswoman every world leader wanted to meet. His speech to the German parliament prompted a warm and affectionate response. And people in Germany's second city were genuinely excited to see the couple. After the controversies of William and Kate's Caribbean tour last year and then the decision to postpone the state visit to France amid pension protests, the royal household badly needed the German tour to go well. In the event, it went as well as anyone could have hoped. Perhaps Britain is starting to move on from Brexit.